Hey, it's John. You want to look and feel your very best? Visit the team at Cool Contours. They are the #1 cool sculpting provider in Virginia. Their award-winning team of certified cool sculpting elite and cool tone specialists work with you to create a fully customized treatment plan to achieve your dream body. Learn more at cool-contours.com. That's cool-contours.com. As ranked by Allergen in June 2021, Cool Sculpting Elite is FDA cleared to treat visible fat bulges in 9 areas of the body. Some common side effects include temporary numbness, discomfort, and swelling.
Hi, and welcome. This is Michigan's AutoTalk Podcast, episode 43, and we are live on location at the 2022 Michigan International Auto Show here at DeVos Place in downtown Grand Rapids. We are here, and I should tell you that every episode of Michigan's AutoTalk Podcast is all about celebrating the automobile and everything automotive. We're about helping you and supporting you, car and truck owners across our great state of Michigan, birthplace of everything automotive. And everything automotive is here at DeVos Place. It's great to be back here because we, of course, have been dealing with COVID since like 1978. And I'm here with the actual stars of the show, Al Schwinkendorf and John Puick. We have had a chance to kind of walk around, take everything in. We're actually here recording on Thursday night, which is a great night to come see the show. And we have...
That's a fact. You can get to every car right up close and personal. You might have to wait a minute for somebody to get out of the back seat.
Friday or Saturday, that's going to be a little bit different. But this has been the best way to see all the new cars, and this has been this way for decades. We're very pleased to be welcomed by Dawn Baker with the company Showspan. She is also the show director for the Michigan International Auto Show. You are the show director, right? Did I get
show
there?
Manager.
Show manager.
It's close.
Okay.
So good.
It's good to see you. I'm trying to remember. And I should have known that 2020 was the last one, right?
Yes.
Because that was right before COVID.
Yes. Right. We were already hearing things about it, right? But it hadn't impacted too close to home. And then actually 2 weeks after the auto show, I was in Detroit for a show. And that's when that was the beginning of March. And boy, the topic, all of a sudden we were realizing a little bit of what we were dealing with. Because I'm not sure we've got,
With all the work you put into it, at least you got 2020 in. I mean, how heartbreaking would that be when you're like 2 weeks to go and they'd say, no, halt?
Well, and in truth, we're going to talk about this maybe a few minutes later, but Showspan produces 8 events in Grand Rapids, but 14 shows each season.
Okay.
So we actually had a show set up in Lansing on March 12th when MSU campus made the call. And we just all sat there kind of staring at each other going, that
was, hope you never have to go through that again.
It was set up. The heartbreaking part was really that these shows represent lifestyles and industries and businesses really close to home.
Yeah.
And so landscapers who had been building landscapes for the whole week never got to let one person see these works of art. And they really were.
I can't imagine.
Did you do something virtual?
We did.
Just
we
to
did
appease them? I mean, I don't want to say appease, but you know what I mean. You got to do something for their effort. Yeah.
Yes,
good call.
Absolutely. So we are thrilled. I mean, it really is. You mentioned, Phil, being just excited to celebrate. And that's what the auto show really has based itself on, being able to, number one, we're here to shop new cars, but we're celebrating all things auto industry along with your show. So it's a privilege to be talking with all three of you.
I'm glad you're here, and most importantly, let's talk about the reality that so many automobile dealers have a scarcity of cars on lots, but when you come to the auto show, you guys have done a great job, even with the shortages. I mean, there are a lot of cars here, and a lot of models represented, and that's one thing that's great about the Michigan International Auto Show, that a lot of dealers right now, you can't look at new cars because they're already sold before they arrive there.
Yes. So, there's a unique situation at play here. We have manufacturers, and those are represented here, and then we have local dealers. And because of the flux, I'll just call it that the auto industry is still in, we actually have a huge amount of dealer support this year in a very unique way. So they have had to rally and to put together some of this because some of the auto manufacturers have pulled back. I am proud to say that we have over 20 manufacturers represented.
Wow.
Is that our normal? No. But it is really good given the shortage of vehicles that's out there.
That's very
You know,
impressive.
the one thing that stuck out to me is I've got this lease coming up. So, and with the whole situation, it's a little panicky about timing right, ordering the next one and doing all that. So I go, been on the websites. They're building something online is totally different than it was 5-6 years ago. So I'm like, no problem. I'm going to go down to the auto show. I'm going to grab some brochures, and then I can sit down and read about it and put it right in front of my face. It's the digital age. There's my buddy John over here at Nissan. He's got a few flyers. Everybody else there. And used to, when I was a kid, we'd come to the auto show, and we had a 20-pound bag. You know what I mean?
When you were leaving,
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Of every model, make, and all that stuff. And everybody I talk to, they go, well, first off, times are what they are. I understand. Those cost money. I totally understand. And they go, you got the internet, so you don't even need them.
Right. So QR code,
Times
and you get all
change.
the information
Yep.
on that vehicle. But let me just say this. So we were talking about the vehicles that are here.
Yeah.
So manufacturers sent vehicles here.
Yep.
Manufacturers sent vehicles to local dealers. So the dealers then, after this show, they had to hold the cars, even though they
Right.
could have sold them.
Right.
But they held the cars for this show. And there are some cases where, I mean, they are utilizing these even before they got here by a week, or
Yep.
so, because people are dying to see what's out there. So to your point, yes, this is the place that you can see all those things and multiple packages. And to me right now in this environment, to see 4 different Silverados, to see 7 different Ford Broncos, and see all the packages, I'm sorry, this is the place you cannot miss seeing.
Well, and the Ford F-150 Lightning is here, which
That's
is
right.
probably the most talked about domestic vehicle in North America. I want to, though, Dawn, with the remaining time, we're talking here in early February. Showspan's got a lot of great shows. The best news is all this muck with Omicron, those cases are dying off. People are getting out. It's only February. People are totally stir crazy. So I know we've already had the camper and RV show, but you've got the boat show coming up. You've got the golf show as this episode is releasing. That is February 10th.
It's actually February 11th through the 13th,
Okay.
right?
So what follows, and that's always for golfers, that is the place to be.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's so much fun. And then there's the Grand Rapids Boat Show. That's February 16th through the 20th. Yes, you talk about a showcase. Glitz and Glamour, that's the auto show and the boat show, in my opinion. And I do love the RV show. And I all of these have shows that we do. They're kind of like our kids.
Yeah.
We
But
cherish
you're just
them.
going bang,
But
bang, bang.
We are. And then coming up March 3 through 6 would be the West Michigan Home and Garden Show.
Yep. Sure, always a big
and that's
one.
another industry, right? I mean, just like automobiles right now, needing to pre-order, and you're talking like 6 months to 24 before you get your car. I'm sorry, if you're doing a renovation or
John
you're
waited
building,
a year for
I
a
was gonna say
freaking
that-
oven.
That
Sore spot with him. And I was going to ask you that. With the boat show and the campers and stuff like that, are they in the same situation the auto dealers are?
Very much so.
Okay.
So especially the boating industry. In fact, so after the West Michigan Home and Garden Show, we have a sports show.
Yep.
And a cottage and lakefront living show. And some
So
of
the
our
boat guys have to go 3 shows?
Well, and we're already hearing them go, I don't know. I mean, I'm probably going to sell this unit at the boat show. And we're like, well, then you need to talk to the owner. They're not going to actually need it
Exactly.
until May.
Good call. Good
You
call.
know, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Right.
And I'm sure there's going to be some finagling. The other thing, too, like you said, Showspan, which is a Grand Rapids company.
Yes.
You guys produce shows all over the Midwest. You're in Milwaukee. You're in Lansing. Are you in Detroit
We
as
are.
well, too?
We are.
Okay.
We do a cottage and lakefront living show there, an ultimate fishing show, and Outdoorama. Very focused on hunting. Yes, there's fishing there too, but hunting and outdoor sports and
Nice.
all things adventure.
Never been to a bad Showspan event. Just saying.
Thank
No.
you. Thank
Building
you.
home and garden, I make sure my wife
Stays home that weekend?
sees the TV or sees those ads, because otherwise we're done.
I'm sorry, and look out, because it's not just on TV anymore, right? We're advertising just like so many companies.
Yep.
A very broad way of reaching people.
Well, I'll just have to pull the power cord off the router and just blame it on the internet provider.
Yeah,
She
for
got
a
her
couple weeks
kitchen.
you're going to have to do that. You go ahead and try that, John.
Dawn, real quickly before we let you go, we're going to next talk with Craig Piersma from Gentex.
Fantastic.
And Gentex has played a big part in this show for years. They are a huge employer and manufacturer here in West Michigan. Talk about their role and their importance in the show.
So they came on 3 auto shows ago. I can't say 3 years
Good
anymore.
call.
Auto shows ago as presenting sponsor. And what I love is that, yes, they are here because they're an employer. They're looking to build relationships. They want people to know that they are making an impact, and they have set the bar high. When you talk about innovation, creativity, connectivity, they are years ahead of what, the rest of the auto world is seeing. They're the ones developing that. And so it's very cool when you come to the auto show and you see this totally maxed out, custom vehicle that they've created. This year happens to be a Chevrolet Silverado, and all the features that they have put. When I said I wanted to go adventure, I mean, their truck this year, in a couple years when they're done with it, I'm kind of hoping to be first in line to pick that up. And then they brought a trailer.
Trailer's got the humidor and a Scotch cabinet in it and stuff. I parked that in my driveway. I'm good.
That was the first thing he said. I was looking, I'm like, oh, they got the, like the gas cans and all that. And he goes,
yes.
Oh, no. Al goes, oh, no. Look at the Scotch cabinet. Oh,
next to the humidor.
You were done. We're done.
Right.
I was like, okay.
Right. Not the kegerator. Anybody interested in that?
There
yes.
you go.
So they have really set the bar high as far as showing the innovation of their team. And they showcase all over the world. This is an international company that is changing the, what would you say, the trajectory, I think, of where we're going in the automobile industry. And so to have them as a partner, we're grateful.
I get a lot of international, monthly periodicals, if you will, but they're trade magazines, and they're everywhere. I mean, they're a world supplier. They're first class. They're very highly revered, and they do really cool things right here in the old West Michigan.
Yeah, sometimes we don't realize how close to home some of these really amazing.
That's a good point. It's a very good point.
They float under the radar. You don't think about it. It's like, you got Kellogg's, you got Gentex. There's so much in Grand Rapids.
Right. Pridgeon and Clay happens to be here too. They're also
friends
a sponsor.
of ours went to school with the kids, and you don't think of them. And when I went to college, I had people like friends from New York and other states and stuff, and they go, "Where do you live?" In Grand Rapids. Is that close to Ada? And I go, "Yeah, actually, I do live in Ada. Why?" That's where Amway is. It's just like, they make soap. We don't, but around the world, it's huge.
Yes.
And it's that can't see the forest for the trees thing.
Right.
Speaking of Craig Piersma, we see him just off in the distance. That was, Dawn, that was a perfect warm-up. Craig, come on in here.
Thanks, guys.
We were just talking. Thanks so much.
It was very nice talking to you.
Dawn Baker from Showspan, and we welcome Craig Piersma from Gentex. That is a live mic. Just walk right up to it. Craig, Phil Tower, Al Schwenkendorf, John Pewick.
Howdy.
I saw you yesterday outside that behemoth of a vehicle doing some television. First of all, could you tell us...
Do you get to take it home on weekends?
I think there's probably 3 or 4 people in the company that have driven it. I'm not going to be one of them until we're ready to sell it.
Okay.
There's horror stories of people taking a company car out and then it not returning properly. So I don't want to be one of them.
Craig, I'm going to have to get real close to that microphone. Gentex, we were just talking with Dawn. You've had a role in this show, a big role, for 3 shows. This is, I think is this your third or fourth time?
I think it's the 4th time we've sponsored the show. And we have always sponsored the charity event that happens this Ford for the Children's Hospital Foundation. So,
Why is this show important for Gentex?
Well, it's interesting because we're really well known in Ottawa County. Ottawa County is the largest employer. But you start to get north a little bit, you come up into the Grand Rapids area, and we're not as well known. And so when the sponsorship became available a number of years ago, we thought, that would be a great way to get our name out here. Clearly, we do shows around the world, but it's to talk to our automaker customers. Here, we get to talk to the community. So our employees get to come here, show off what they do to their family and friends. We get to have recruiters staff the booth and then look for talent talent, everything from hourly employees to who knows. You got an engineer that walks over, you start a conversation, and hopefully they get a feel for the type of company we are, our culture, and our people. And so that's what the show's about.
Could you tell us a little history of the company?
Sure.
Because I'm not from Ottawa County, I'm from Kent County, so we know who you are.
Yeah.
I get trade magazines from the UK and that, and it's got Gentex all over it and that, but, who's this?
Yeah. So we started in the 70s, founded in 1974, as a fire protection company. And we still have a fire protection division. So that's commercial smoke alarm signaling devices, Disney properties, hotels, apartment complexes, dormitories. Those are the kind of places that use our smoke or fire protection devices. The commonality when we made our move into automotive was we use light sensors to actually see the smoke. It's called a photoelectric way of sensing smoke. And that became the common product or the feature where we made our mark in the automatic dimming mirror. So we're using those same type of light sensing techniques to sense the light from the headlights of the cars behind you in the mirror and then darken that mirror automatically. So back in that, probably in the 80s, early to mid 80s is when we started shipping automatic dimming mirrors, where today that is by far our primary product. We ship 40 million automatic dimming mirrors a year, interior and exterior.
And that's awesome. That means that you don't have to go buy the top-end vehicle to get one.
Right, exactly. But what's interesting, and you guys know this, like the mirror's location in a car is pretty special. It's up high in the windscreen. It's got a great view of the road, so you can put cameras there for ADAS features like high beam assist or collision avoidance. We interact with it. First thing you do when you get in the car is you adjust it, so we're used to touching it, so you can put an interface there. Everything from General Motors OnStar system, the interface has been in the mirror, to compass temperature, HomeLink buttons, and so we've integrated about 100 different features to the car via that mirror location, just because it's so special in the car.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
So in terms of what the last couple of years have been, we're all hearing about chips shortages, obviously shortage of vehicles on dealer lots. We were just talking with Dawn from the auto show about how great it is, how amazing it is. We have this whole massive room full of cars. And most importantly, I'm curious how it's impacted Gentex. It's got to have a ripple down effect.
Has it slowed you down, or have you run into the same problems with suppliers and stuff?
It's the same issues, right? That everybody's
in the same boat.
Everybody's in the same boat. I mean, it's interesting. Automotive was already in flux before COVID and all the chip shortages and stuff, right? Because you got these macro trends that are shaking up the industry that are quite significant. The digitalization, everything's going digital, right? Moving from analog to digital. On top of that, you got the electrification trend. So every automaker is focusing energy, resources, time, and talent on turning over their fleet to electric. And then on top of that, everybody's chasing the autonomous space. Everybody, the autonomous cars.
You guys are going to be big in that. I know you are.
We hope to.
I was going to say ADAS has got to be like spot on for you.
Now, do you get into like the modules and stuff like that, or are you more into sensors and things of that nature?
It's mostly on the sensing side of things.
So you're interacting with the manufacturers and the other outside companies that are making modules and things for the car, so you're all in the same boat.
Yes. When you think about autonomous driving, there's a number of our technology paths that work. Dimmable glass. When you start talking about autonomous vehicle, you're not driving. You're going to want to be reading, relaxing, enjoying the scene. You're going to need a way to darken that down. And so we call them large area devices, but large panels of glass that can darken.
Okay, real quick. And I talked to Al about this on the way as we were heading down here. Backup cameras. You were talking about visual. This is Michigan. It's February. Your tailgate.
I'm a new engineer right here.
Yeah, exactly. Patent pending, verbal trademark.
Yes.
I have. So when you drive in Michigan this time of year, February, snow going over the tailgate, over your back setup, your camera covered in snow, can't see it. In the SUVs, they already have the windshield washer fluid back there. The cars, I know it's a little different setup, but there's got to be something where you can clean that off.
Right.
And so you can see when you back up.
Right.
All the way it goes. Part of you, what do you got? Come on, man, give me something good.
It's interesting.
The rotating lens.
Exactly, like NASCAR.
NASCAR.
Exactly, in Formula One.
There's
a laser.
Yeah, there's things like that we've experimented with, like hydrophobic coatings. So there are different things that can you coat with. There are ways of even vibration, where could you vibrate things, shake off the dirt, the dust, the water.
See, they're working on it.
See, this is why I was.
There's all kinds of ways to do it. The trick is, can you do it in a cost-effective manner?
Where the
automaker customer is going to say, I'm going to add $50 to the cost of that camera.
I've been working on a device that blows the snow out between the doors, so when you open it, it doesn't land on your seat for years, and it failed miserably.
Yeah. The idea is the easy part.
I mean, it always is, isn't it?
The idea is the easy part. Getting there is the hard part.
You know what? We'll get there, though. I know we will. I mean, there's too much technology and other things going on in vehicles that we can't fix that problem someday, because we all live with it. I mean, you more than us, because you got way more snow than we do. But I mean, everybody lives with that, and someday they'll be fixed.
Yeah, someday they will. Craig, I want to ask you, we're speaking with Craig Piersma from Gentex. And by the way, all that noise you're hearing, we're live at the Michigan International Auto Show as we record Michigan's Auto Talk. I can't drive around West Michigan without seeing a Gentex's hiring billboard.
Right.
And I know you need labor right now. And you've got a lot of work. Talk about what kinds of positions and what kind of opportunities Gentex affords. I know you're a great place to work.
Yeah, like we were saying, the industry's a bit in flux, and everybody is looking for hiring. Coming out of COVID now, part of the workforce just seems to have disappeared, right? So everybody's chasing hourly workers. We could use about, I'd say, 300 people right away.
Wow.
And so there's a lot of great hourly jobs. We've shaken up our compensation package a little bit, so we've got incredibly competitive hourly wage, but we're doing something I think is unique in West Michigan, if not the country. We're actually offering $5,000 stock grants to hourly employees after they've been with us a year. So your compensation consists of hourly, quarterly bonuses, plus that stock grant, and so it incentivizes you to stick around and grow with us and start your career.
Very nice.
One of the other things we're doing that's I think very unique is we've started Spanish-speaking manufacturing lines. So that's always been language has been a barrier. The entire line.
That's genius.
Because when you think about our automakers require us to have really specific work instructions. It has to be in English. You got to be supervised in English. We made the commitment. It's like, we're going to do this in Spanish. That's the second most common language in West Michigan. And we will do the recruiting, the training, the onboarding, the supervising, all of the human resources and legal communications. My team handles corporate communications, so that means every newsletter, every weekly newsletter, all the HR benefits, everything's done bilingual. And so it's changing the culture from kind of the inside out. It's, everybody likes to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. This is one it is a movement, not just a moment. It is something that will be lasting. And so it just has opened up the door to a whole new group of folks that might not have a career path otherwise with us. And right now we started this about a year ago, went from 0. Right now we're at about 70 Spanish-speaking
That's impressive.
workers. So it's a real successful program for us.
I thought I was spoiling them with donuts every other Friday.
We do have free pop. It's amazing. Free pop and coffee. People come in and they're like, there's like a soft drink bar. Everyone, people are like, that's free. You're like, oh yeah, I guess we should talk about that too.
Well, no, but I mean, that's a win-win on so many levels, and it's an innovation where, if it flies, which I'm sure it will in Ottawa County, people are going to copy it. And you're going to get phone calls and go, how do you make that happen? You need to do the same.
I travel a lot around the world, and you get into another country, and I can speak a little German, but you're just fatigued after a while, and you're not sure if you're understanding everything. There's always a stress level. So imagine going into a job where you're not sure you're understanding the instructions right, where you can't find out about your benefits, where you can't ask those questions. And now somebody, your employer now is just taking all those concerns away for you.
That's incredible.
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah,
and so,
very cool.
So we could use people, and that's why we're here.
We appreciate you joining us real quickly for those 300 jobs that are open. Just go to the website. Is that the best way to find out more?
Yeah, go to Gentex.com. You can look up, I believe it's under /jobs. Might be /careers. I got to look. But either way, you will find
it's
it
right
on
here.
there.
Go to the auto show and get one of their flyers, and on the very back page is Gentex.
There we go.
And they got all the information about interviews and everything right there on the back page.
Or stop down here. That's even better. Stop down, talk to the recruiters we got at our booth. You can learn a little bit about us, our culture, meet some people.
Nice.
And we've got a place for you.
We appreciate it really much, and most importantly, thank you for your investment in the show.
Sure. Oh, you're welcome. It's a great show. We love what the show does for everybody. Your family's coming down here. The dogs right over here.
That's
I was petting the dogs just a little while ago. It's a great place. Stop on down.
Yeah, we appreciate it very much. Craig Piersma, Gentex, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Michigan's AutoTalk Podcast is we are live at the Michigan International Auto Show. That's the noise you hear in the background. And gentlemen, we're about 25 minutes in. I think we're going to wrap this one up. Coming up, we have a part 2 live from the Michigan International Auto Show. We've got, I'm really excited, we've got Judd Templin from Ford. We're also going to check in with Jay Follis, who is the historian, knows everything about all the cars down at the Gilmore Automotive Museum. Those guys will join us. Until then, I'm Phil Tower.
I'm Al Schwinkendorf.
I'm John Pewick. Thanks for listening.